Rise of the Forsaken campaign, our 4th edition setting. I am, of course, Jumbo Thick. I will be your GM, your DM for the night, and I am, of course, joined by the Unfortunate Fellowship. They have returned to seek glory. We have Mr. Jumbo Smooth, Mr. Doobie 209, and Pierce Galactic. If you care to introduce yourselves, boys.
Hello, everyone. I am Jumbo Smooth. I'll be playing the role of Marius Wolf this evening. I'm a pugilist, newly changed class.
I know. I love it.
I've got some. I know. I got some knuckle dusters. I also have some throw up on my pants.
You do right now. It's gonna be. That's also. Can't miss that part.
Yes. Yes.
What's going on, guys? Doobie209 here, and you know me. I play Seamus McGreedy, the toe in the line, sort of speak now.
Toe in the line.
My character. Sometimes I'm the lawman, and sometimes I'm not so much the lawman anymore. But I've got a horse, which makes me better than Bragadine.
Oh,
you're a terrible person.
Cut you deep. Bretonnia without a horse. How you doing, Mr. Bragadine?
I can't believe you. That's your lead into me. That's your segue to me.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Pierce Galactic, and I will be reprising the character of Bragadine Bonneau, a Bretonnian noble, a writer, an artist, a man who has lost his masterpiece.
Oh yes.
A man who barely died, or almost died again, yet he was saved once again by Marius.
Exactly.
And a man who is here to kick a peasant to death if he doesn't tell us what we need.
Oh, yes. The philosophy's piece de la resistance.
Put the boots to him.
Yes, my French is fantastic to everyone listening. Regardless, so that's the crew introduced. So I'm itching. I know you guys probably are too. I'm ready to get into this. Of course, Mr. Wolf, you won the previous poll that we had, our viewer decision. So expect something decent to happen shortly.
Thank you, everyone.
Exactly. He was really campaigning for himself. This was impressive. So yeah.
You just won yourself a point of corruption.
Vote for Marius.
Vote for Marius.
Vote Marius.
It was rigged. It was rigged.
So last we left off, boys, we have found ourselves back in Sealburg, the mining town tucked away in the mountains near the bottom of Wizenland, where the Fellowship calls themselves home. Well, at least most of them do. Bragadine's more of a visitor / may or may not be banished to this area for now. We'll see how this goes. Regardless, the three of you have found yourself in quite the pickle, as it has come to light that there have been several interesting rumors and or events that have taken place in Sealburg that may or may not have been known to the three of you. First off, Marius discovered that the body of one Father Leiter, the priest of Sigmar that aided you guys in your earlier adventures, one of the founding members of Sealburg, at least the newer version of Sealburg, was missing from his grave, his mausoleum. It was empty. And he's been tasked by Father Horst, the de facto head priest of the Cult of Moor that is currently protecting and safekeeping the dead in Sealburg, who has apparently either been negligent in his duties or something more nefarious is at work. And Marius has been tasked with finding out very quietly and discreetly, if I will give you a nod again to that, as there are very high tensions in Sealburg currently when it comes to the aspect of worship and religion. In addition to that, we had Mr. McCready, who has been pursuing a possible new line of work in that he is all but about to abandon his duties as a road warden. It was more of a duty of circumstance anyway. And apparently he might be taking up bounty hunting. He's already made quite the name for himself and currently has a bounty for one Three Fingers, whom, after a interesting raid on one of Mr. Gold's wagons, Seamus had slain at least one bandit and scared off the others, and discovered that they were specifically targeting Mr. Gold's wagons for obvious reasons, as there was more than just simple goods in these wagons. There were, in fact, black powder firearms, something worth quite a bit of money, and of course, worth quite a bit of potential value to somebody that might need an edge, let's call it, in combat. So the idea of these bandits securing firearms might be quite concerning to the locals. As well, Seamus sent away his crew to report to Velkin. I believe you threw a pistol to Bertrand, and he ran it back to Velkin. As far as you know, you're not quite sure. You didn't see them dead along the road, but you were, however, all but ambushed on your way back to Sealburg, as a large contingent of these bandits, these Three Fingers bandits, were laid out on the road, and you were held at crossbow point. And were probably going to be killed until Three Fingers was revealed to be a young woman that apparently knew you in some way, though you could not make the connection as of yet. Perhaps on further meetings, you might be able to make more checks and discover her identity, but you do know that she did seem familiar. And you were spared. Not only were you spared, but the bandits dispersed and did not wound you in any way. They let you leave. Almost simultaneously, we had Mr. Bonneau, who received a very interesting letter from his mother, detailing the fact that his youngest sister is to be wed, and there is a grand tournament being held soon, very soon, I might add, in her honor, and whoever wins said tournament will win her hand in marriage. Of course, Bragadine is expected to come. His mother may have put it nicely, but you would know, reading into the contents of the letter, that your father expects you to show up. So just keep that in mind as well, Bragadine.
Yes, he is aware.
At the same time, you were given quite a bit of gold coins, a lot of money, I might add, to secure passage back to Bretonia, to Paravon, to your homeland, and meet for your sister's wedding. You also had just pinned the last stroke on what you believe might be your final draft of The Adventures of Bragadine the Bold, the rather intricate, detailed manuscript about the adventure that you just had with the Fellowship. Of course, it detailed all
very
of
descriptive.
the very descriptive, very in detail, and of course described.
To make sure they knew exactly who my companions were.
Exactly, and that you saved them many times. Of course, they were always wailing for you. Oh, Bragadine, save us! And of course, there was
Seamus
also
loved to build a fire and cook our dinner.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He was like a servant, a manservant. It was fantastic. And not only did you detail that, you also detailed some aspects that may be of heretical nature in the Empire, if taken seriously by certain people. And as you were leaving, you were bringing the manuscript with you. You were on the fence as to if you were going to send it to be published in Nome. As you do, you have already made contact, and I will say people in Nome, this publishing house, knows that you're writing something, and you basically gave them a pitch at this point, so they kind of have an idea what it's about, but they have not gotten a manuscript yet. So this was the manuscript you were sending. So people do know that you have been writing something. They are expecting something for publishing. You can either send it with them, or you thought about possibly bringing it to Bretonia with you to show your mother. But before you could do either, you were all but ambushed and dragged into a side alley and nearly beaten to death and stripped of all your belongings. It was pretty harsh, not gonna lie. You almost died in the process, except for you happened to be saved by Marius Wolf, who was walking by and barely managed to get to you in time to spare your life from these thugs that were beating you to death in an alley. You will also, Marius, I will remind you that you did discover an interesting tattoo upon one of the men you killed in that alley.
I did.
Yes, so it had a very interesting mark about it, if you can recollect back. In addition to that, you guys all met up at the hospital, the sanctuary of the Holy Sisters, the Temple of Shalia. Many of your wounds were treated. Bragadine was on death's door before, but he's doing a little bit better now. And then you followed a lead that you guys had down to the more poor quarter of the city, almost like a shanty town, kind of. Very closed together, very zigzaggy, angular, small paths that lead to these houses. And before you went, you were promised by Mr. Otto, Old Man Otto, who is the captain of the guard, I might add, the captain of the watch in Sealburg, that knows Marius very well and probably considers him a friend, that he would not be sending patrols that way because you needed to find someone. And you did, in fact, find someone, Mr. Nathaniel, the leader of the gang of thugs that waylaid Bragadine and stole his manuscript. As we are picking up, as soon as the three of you decimated Nathaniel and his men that he had with him, his gang, I believe Marius killed at least two of them. With his bare hands. Bragadine, being very tired and still weakened from what has happened to him, was able to fend off a peasant man with a knife. They were engaged in combat. Seamus decided not to shoot him in the back,
duelists.
much to my chagrin. I wish he would have. But did, however, catch Nathaniel as he was making an escape and knocked him unconscious. And that is where we're picking up, boys. Anything I might have missed that you guys think might be important?
We did have discover the ransacked house of Bragadine.
Yes, that's right.
It smelled of rats.
It did indeed. That is
Yes,
a good
escaped.
point to make. It probably was searched by the underfolk at some point. So, yep. And then we are picking up immediately after Seamus just drove the butt of his crossbow into Nathaniel's face and rendered him unconscious. So, unfortunate fellowship, what would you like to do in this moment?
I imagine they're all in the house still, and I'm somewhere where I can't see or hear them.
They're in the house. You would have heard shouting and fighting from inside, and you would, if you were to glance back, you would be able to see in the entryway that I'm sure Bragadine's probably kind of stumbling out into the street at this point. Marius is probably still inside.
All right. Well, while they're doing that, I would like to pick up Nathaniel and throw him on the back of the horse.
You're just going to pick him up.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna take him back to the boys.
He's a grown man. Go ahead and give me a strength check, Seamus.
I gotta say, man, I'm willing to make a check for it.
Ooh.
Oh, Seamus, are you going to take care of that man? Here, let me help you.
I don't think you're close to him.
You're not that close, Bragadine. You do see Seamus attempting
stumbling
one.
over there.
Oh, it's gonna be a close failure. I got a 35 out of 30.
Okay, you go to pick him up, and it's not immediate. You're going to be able to drag him over to your horse. You start dragging him over. You don't immediately throw him onto the horse yet, though. As you're dragging him, you see some of the interesting characters that may or may not have pointed out where Nathaniel was hiding begin to cluster around, and they're looking at you, Seamus. They're staring at you from kind of a side street.
I'll observe and just keep watch of that situation for the moment.
Okay, and you're kind of getting him ready to kind of throw him on the horse. It's at this point, Bragadine, you stumbled into the street. Would you like to do anything?
Sorry, Bragadine was just catching his breath from his duel back there. I would like to go over and slap the man.
Okay. Seamus is currently a little bit distracted because he just noticed some ruffians staring at him. Quite a few ruffians, in fact. There's a bit of a crowd beginning to gather after what just happened here. And you run over to the man that was in charge of just getting you beat senseless, and you give him a vicious slap across the face. And as you do, his eyes jolt open. And he looks at you for a second, confusedly looks up at Seamus. He's like, oh no. He's beginning to panic severely. Marius, what are you doing inside currently?
I'm probably looking around to see if there's any evidence of the manuscript. Just
okay. Go ahead and give me
around,
a perception test then. Yeah.
Okay. That's a 46 out of 57.
46 out of 57. Okay. So with a degree of success, even, you begin looking around the room. And this is a bit of a quick look. You can hear there's a bit of a commotion happening outside. You hear the haughty steps of Bragadine, thump, 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 out into the street. You can't see outside, but you hear him. You hear him moving. You hear the vicious the slap, of course. You begin kind of looking around the room, and this room is in shambles, especially after what just happened in here. This vicious fist fight brawl that just broke out. There's destroyed chairs. Not that there was much anyway. Much of the room is in shambles. There are several people. There's a single man to the front door with his head through the wall. He's just dangling there. He may or may not be dead. There's at least one person on the floor dead. There's also the large man that had his nose caved in, and he's very much dead, you can tell. There's another one that might not be dead yet, but might be in the process of dying as you viciously beat these men with your fists, with specifically with your brass knuckles on. So not exactly you weren't exactly holding back as it was. You begin looking over them, and you're looking for evidence of the book. You do find that the large man has a coin purse. It looks kind of small, but you snatch it off of him. You're not sure how much is in there yet, but you also see, as you snatch it off of him, you see one of the floorboards has been punched through. Probably when somebody fell down or anything like that, since most of the wood in here is rotten. And you see something kind of shining in the dim candle, some of the few candles that still exist in this room. You can see a little bit of a glimmer on it. Do you reach in and take it?
Yeah.
Okay. You reach your hand in and you grasp it, and you feel feels like leather. You pull it out, and it's a leather pouch. It looks very well made. And at the top of the pouch, there is a metallic clasp, which is what you saw gleaming. Like I said, the leather, it looks very well made, in fact. Not something that belongs to these people, obviously. Probably something stolen. Kept hidden. Would you like to open it?
Yeah, I'll take a look.
Okay. Undo the clasp, you pop it open, and you see 3 very familiar vials. They are glass, and this pouch apparently belonged to who knows what, maybe a merchant, maybe a soldier, somebody that had the means of buying something like this. But these are vials of a certain liquid that may or may not have healing properties. So you have 3 vials of wound closing, or whatever you want to call it.
Ooh, nice. I will mark that down.
Good find, Marius. May or may not have been what you got out of the viewer decision.
Thanks, everyone.
So you get that, as well as some coin. When you get the chance to count it, if you can even just pop it open now, quickly take a quick look. And as you do, you see that there is 23 brass in this coin purse and 2 silver.
23 brass and 2 silver?
2 silver, yep.
Ooh, all right.
The other guys don't have much on them. Or in fact, they have almost nothing, in fact. It looks like the big man was holding most of the money. But that's all you find. Are you going to move outside?
Yeah, I'll probably go outside and find the boys.
Okay.
See what they're doing.
You begin to step outside. Seamus, are you still trying to lift him onto the horse?
Yes.
Okay. He's awake now, and he doesn't want to be taken at this point. So he's going to resist you. I'm going to need you to make an opposed strength check.
Oh, because someone decided to wake him up.
Exactly.
That was better than what he deserved.
That's going to be a failure, and I'm not going to re-roll it.
Okay. You go to
Seamus,
hoist
just
him
tie a
up.
rope to his leg and tie the other rope to the horse. We can drag him there.
Yeah, he begins fighting. He's like, no! And he's fighting. Bragadine, would you like to do anything in this moment?
He's trying to stand up, like...
Yeah, he's standing at this point. Seamus kind of has his arms around him, but it looks like at any moment he might break free. Seamus is starting to lose his grip.
Take a step back. Seamus, do you have that villain there?
No, he's a wily one.
And Marius, yeah, you see
Maybe
this
I'll
now,
just give you
Marius.
some room so you can get him taken care of there.
If I'm close enough to see it, can I walk up to him?
Yeah, you begin walking out to him. Fists bloody. There is some vomit on you, but that's of little importance. It's more or less the the blood smattered across your arms. You look rather intimidating walking out. Needless to say that the headsman has him taken and currently holding on to him. And this man is in a full panic. Nathaniel is very disturbed by what's happening right now. What do you want? What do you? I'll give it back. I promise. I can give it back. He's yelling towards you
Right now. Give it to me right now. Where is it?
I want to put my hands on him.
You going to put your hands on him?
Not like punch him, but put. put a hand on his neck or something.
Okay.
Make sure he's not going anywhere.
Oh, he ain't. Yeah, you put your hand on him, and Seamus has got him for now. But as soon as you put your hand on his neck,
Okay.
he kind of feels this a little bit of strength, and he's, and then he begins to stop resisting Seamus.
Should we bring him inside, Seamus, and show him his friends?
Nah, whatever we do, we're not going to do it out here in front of all these people.
I turn around to everyone and be like, "You should all go home. Nothing to see here."
And you hear
walk
you
up
hear one
to-
of the guys in the distance, "Piss off!" And then a bottle gets thrown in your direction, Marius. Go and give me a dodge roll, Marius.
Okay. Let's see. That is. Ooh, I'm gonna fail that one. It's gonna be a 79 out of 41.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a fail. Do you want to re-roll it? You
Yes,
want to take this
yes,
bottle
yes.
to the face?
I'll take. Is it to my face?
It's coming at you.
Okay, well, I'll take the bottle.
Okay, this bottle plinks. I'm gonna say. Let me roll a d100 real quick. Yep.
Okay.
It plinks off your kind of your left shoulder. Tink. It doesn't shatter.
Yeah.
You take the equivalent of one wound, so you can write down one wound.
right.
It doesn't hurt bad, but it hurts enough. You're like, ah, kind of grits your teeth.
Yeah.
And as they see that, one of them, they start kind of start laughing. These guys that are starting to kind of gather around.
Time up, Seamus. I've had a bad day. I'm gonna go talk to these friends over here.
Oh no. Okay.
Yes, Seamus, go teach them proper respect.
I'm gonna go start walking over to the guy who threw it.
Okay. He's got his arms crossed. He's just smiling. Almost. He's got several teeth missing. There's a bunch of guys around him. You have a pretty decent crowd at this point.
Okay.
You're approaching a crowd of probably 10, 12 guys that are starting to trying to fill into these tight gaps of these shanty houses. And not just from this one direction. They're just kind of gathering all around. Everybody, this is quite the spectacle.
Yeah. I get up to him. I'm gonna try to do an intimidation if I can.
Okay.
If you allow.
What are you going to do first, though?
I'm gonna walk up right next to him. If his arms are crossed, right in front of him. And you said he has only a few teeth left.
He only has a few. Yeah.
Yeah. I look at him and he's like, "I think I'm going to take the rest of your teeth, friend." And just kind of stare him down.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Okay. Oh, nice. That's a 7 out of 60.
Let's roll
Nice.
here. Oh, nope, definitely not. He immediately stops smiling. You see his mouth close and tighten, and and then he kind of unfolds his arm. I didn't mean nothing, sir. I didn't. But by all means, it was. And the elbows he got next to him. Why did you throw that? It's It's obvious that he threw it, but
Yeah.
he's trying to shift
Yeah.
blame, and he's starting to kind of slink away. And the rest of the guys are looking a little. Everybody's looking pretty intimidated. Old Marius flexing on him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the rest of them, "I advise you all to go home. I'm the nice one." And I point at Seamus. He's the one you need to worry about.
And
And then
go ahead.
yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Yeah.
You can see immediately most of them start to kind of they're backing away slowly. But it looks like most of them are probably heeding your words. So,
Okay.
Seamus, are you dragging him inside?
I guess so.
Okay. At this point, he's not resisting. He's given up. You have him. You begin just kind of walking him inside. Do you have your hand on a weapon or anything like that, Seamus?
I imagine I have, a pistol on me
You
and
do.
my sword.
Yes, you do.
But if I'm dragging him, I imagine like both hands are dragging him in right now.
Okay, all right. And he's kind of walking. You drag him inside and kind of just toss him in there, amidst his buddies. He immediately sees the man that has his head shoved through the wall as soon as you pass through the doorway, and he's gonna, the vicious nature of the bodies laid in here is rather shocking indeed. And he begins to, and he can tell that he's trembling. He is very, very afraid right now.
I will unsheath my sword.
Oh God! Yes, you unsheath the sword.
I will let that play out for the moment. I'll just unsheath the sword for now.
Okay, you unsheath the sword. He's extremely intimidated at this point. Bragadine, do you walk in behind Seamus?
Yes.
Okay, as you walk in, you see this man just like quivering. He's up against the wall as far away as he can get from Seamus. And as he sees you come in, he immediately, knees hit the floor. And he just, please, I didn't mean it. I'll give it all back. I'll give it all back.
With a twist of my waist, I bring my left hand way up behind me over my head. And I bring it down in a massive backhand and slap the shit out of him.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
you will. Where's my book? James, what are you doing? Cut his fingers off. Let's get him talking. Find my book.
He immediately, you hit him so hard, and he hits the floor for a second. He has to like scramble up, and he's kind of cowering away from you, Bragadine. You love it. You love every second of it. This man is bigger than you, Bragadine, but he's in so much fear right now. You're like a little chihuahua barking at him, and he gets up and he's cowering away from you. What do you mean book? You mean those the paper?
I draw my dagger. I wave it at his face. Yes.
What
the papers you stole from me.
Where
are they?
I tried to bring them to James, but he said he didn't want it. I may have brought it to Mr. Gold and sold it.
Shit.
Mr. Gold?
But here, and he takes off the rapier around his belt, throws it at your feet, and then he takes off he begins peeling off his clothes, and he takes off this rather new piece of a chainmail shirt, and he just throws it down. I may have spent your silver. I may have spent your silver, sir, but please take it. You could probably get it back from James.
So you want me to take the stuff that you bought with the money you stole from me?
I will do anything. I will do anything.
But you don't have my book? You gave it to him. You sold it to Mr. Gold? Is that what you said?
Well, I didn't sell it to him myself. James said he was going to send someone to do that. But I can tell you where James is. You could talk to him. You could let me go. I've given you everything.
You haven't given me my book.
But
when that is in my hand, then you will have given. No, shut your face. Shut your mouth right now, or I'll cut your tongue out. Seamus, what should we do about this?
Looks like we're going to pay a visit to Mr. Gold.
I heard you and Marius talking about him earlier. Isn't he on the blacksmith shop or a weapon shop, or he's one of the merchants around town? I thought a powerful one.
He's a dealer in fine things, but no, you might want to sit outside the building for this one.
By whatever do you mean?
Things might get pretty bad inside that shop. I feel like we're all done here. It's time to go pay Mr. Gold a visit.
Do I
James, Yeah, by this point, you've made it inside, Marius. Probably in the process of when Bragadin's talking about cutting out his tongue. And you see the man is just whimpering in fear. He goes, James might still have it. Maybe he hasn't brought it to him yet.
Who's James?
Jolly James. Jolly James. Everyone knows Jolly James. None of you know who Jolly James is.
Yeah,
But in his mind, everyone knows him. I
don't know.
I'm going to go over to Nathan and actually I'll put my dagger away. I'll kind of put my arm around him and I'll, in a much nicer voice, you know what? I think you have done just to give this back to me and give us this information. Why don't you, as our new friend, why don't you help us right now, take us to Jolly James at this moment?
Of course. By all means. He's shirtless at this point. He kind of just stands up. This way, and he very tentatively begins walking towards the door. What?
Marius, grab him.
Yeah, I put my hand on his neck.
Okay, you grab a hold of you grab hold of the scruff of his neck, and he kind of stiffens. It's right this
pick
way.
Up the stuff he bought with my money.
Yes, you can collect the things. Real quick, as you collect them, it's a nice piece of chainmail. It's a chainmail shirt. You could easily slip that on yourself, Bragadine, if you wanted to.
Oh,
it looks new.
Now.
It looks new. So yeah, there is that. You also, if you are you going to be like looking at the rapier?
Oh yeah, we'll pick that up in
Okay.
Is it a quality rapier?
You go to look at it, and the first thing you notice, Bragadine, is that it looks kind of fancy. Not that I will say this though. You being Bretonnian, rapiers are definitely not in style there. They're more of the classical knightly, long swords, arming swords, that kind of stuff. So rapier would not exactly be a noble weapon.
Sword and shield.
Yeah, something like that. This is more of a duelist, kind of weapon. You haven't seen. Matter of fact, this might be the first time you've actually seen one in person. If that makes any sense. Now, it's not held by many people very often, except for in like high court, and usually by nobility in the Empire, or what passes for nobility here. I mean, it's nothing compared to Bretonnia, of course. And
of course.
Yeah, you wouldn't have come across anybody in your journey thus far that you know of that would hold a rapier. But you would notice, and a matter of fact, Marius, if you're glancing, is kind of, Seamus puts this chain shirt on and he has the rapier in his hand. Marius, the rapier would strike you as interesting because you have an eye for metalcraft. You would see that this is pretty well made, like very well made. And not only is it well made, but the blade itself has a silvered edge. Like it looks like actual silver, the metal.
Silver?
Yeah, it looks like it has a silvered edge, and the guard along the bottom looks like it has been stylized to look like a twin-tailed comet.
Oh, okay.
I imagine
it's not
Bragadine is
star metal, is it?
It is not. No, it is not. It looks like steel, but the silvered edge and the twin-tailed comet is very interesting to you.
Yeah.
Seamus, as you see it, Seamus, you immediately... You know what, Seamus? Let's go ahead and roll you a cool test real quick.
Oh. Cocked. 39 out of 45.
Okay. So you as soon as you see it, you feel like this. You feel like you recognize it, and you almost feel like this, like almost shock set in, close to it. But you are not like stunned or anything of the sort. You just kind of look at it, and you take a second, and you immediately recognize it as maybe not identical, but a sword of the same fashion of the man in your memories, the one with the wide-brimmed hat, the witch hunter that led the group of you and many of the other men in Sealburg to more than likely your deaths, as no one has come back besides yourself. And this is definitely a weapon of the same type, and it looks like the same make. So you would know who it belongs to. No one else would.
Who's holding the sword?
Bragadine is currently holding it, but it was taken
Waving
off
it
of.
clumsily in the air.
Yeah, he's very kind of like flashing it back and forth, and it's kind of dangling, because it's not a very stiff blade, so it's just kind of interesting. Doing some flourishes with it.
Kind of poking it in Nathan's direction.
Yeah, kind of poke it at him. And he flinches every time you do it. He's
I care not for this. Seamus, do you think we can sell this?
You might be able to catch a nice copper for it. We'll hold on to it for the moment, though.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay. And what are we doing? Are we allowing Nathaniel to take you to Jolly James?
Yeah, we'll probably let him guide us, I guess.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Do you want him to just give you directions, or are you going to allow him to walk?
I'm allowing him to walk, but my hand's around his neck.
Okay. So it's very slow. I will say, guys, at this point, night has set in. It's the middle of the night now. So it's dark. Mm-hmm. There are some low lights coming out of very grimy windows. You can see candles on the inside illuminating outside. There's a couple lanterns hanging from some houses, but for the most part, it's very dark. And you see some people here and there, most of the ruffians, kind of like what you've seen before. Most people that you do see on the street are just drunk and just passed out. You do see a few kids kind of winding in and out of your path. And you're going deeper into this kind of poor kind of quarter of town. It's a couple minutes. Seamus, it's tight. But it does open up at certain points, so you're not having a hard time. I'm assuming you're riding, Rachel.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, so you have a pretty good vantage point, because the houses are just about as tall as you are mounted on your horse. They're not very big houses here, so you have a good view of like the rooftops. And there's a couple houses here that looks like the shanties have been built up, and some of them have like a makeshift second floor. And you see a couple guys sitting on what looks like the equivalent of a porch at some point, kind of smoking a pipe or something, passing it back and forth. They kind of just look at you kind of quizzically and just shut their mouths. Nobody says anything. And for the most part, people are avoiding the three of you entirely. Well, the four of you. And nobody is saying anything about you marching a shirtless man at apparent very aggressive stances. Nobody is saying anything due to your guys' presence. And you finally come to a very tight alley, and Nathaniel stops and he says, he's right. His place is at the end of this here little side street.
Well, you will introduce us to him.
Yes.
I
couldn't have said it better myself, Burgundy.
And he looks very nervous. Of course, and he very tentatively begins walking down the alley. What is the marching order here?
I figured it would probably be holding Nathan, and I'm right behind Marius.
Holding Nathan.
Okay, yeah. It's Nathaniel, but it's fine. And then Seamus, I'm going to say this passage is going to be too tight for Rachel to get through. So what would you like to do? Would you like to dismount, or are you going to stay out here?
Did he like make a gesture of how far it is from?
You
where
can
we're
see
currently
it. You can see it. It's like maybe 40, 50 feet. It's not, I mean, not far. You could easily cover that distance on foot within a couple seconds at a sprint if you needed to. But, just few seconds down this alley, and he's supposed to be there.
Then yeah, I'll probably just stay where I'm at then.
Okay. Afraid to leave your horse, I
Not-
see.
Just, I got expensive things on this horse.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. All right. Split the party. I love
Damn
it.
it.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it. Please do.
We'll see how it goes.
All right. So you begin walking with so Marius and Bragadin, you're walking with Nathaniel leading the way, and this alley's tight, and there's no really passages off the side of it. You're between several buildings, and it all looks like it's made of that same kind of rotten wood. You get a couple buildings that it looks like there's makeshift walls that have been kind of built up out of mud even, and like loose stones and things that they've kind of cobbled together. And at the end of the passageway, there is a small door. And when I say small door, I mean, Marius, you're going to have to duck to get through this door. Bragadin, you might even have to duck a little bit. It's like a 5-foot tall door. It's wide enough, but it looks like the measurements were off, and maybe they just planked together the pieces of wood they could, and the door is just small. And you see Nathaniel very tentatively begin to knocks on the door. James, I brought some people to see you.
Nathaniel, why does why does James have such a small door?
And as he's like kind of stammering with his answer, the door swings inward, and there is kind of a dirty looking thin man standing there, and he kind of sees the three of you, and his eyes go a little wide. He's like, and he begins reaching down to his side. He's like, Nathaniel, what's And
Hey,
do you begin doing that, Marius?
Yeah. I like to see your hands, friend.
I'm gonna need some kind of roll, Marius. You pick and tell me
Okay.
how are you saying this?
I'm thinking trying to be more intimidating, I think.
Okay,
at this
go
point.
ahead and give me an intimidation check.
Okay. That's a 19 out of 60.
Okay. Oh yeah. He it's something about the tone of your voice, and he kind of quivers a little bit and takes a few steps back. And as he does, you hear a man inside, hear a voice call out, Nathaniel, you're back! Didn't think it'd be so soon. Come in. And you see the kind of the man that opened the door is kind of shuffling farther into the room. And you see this is a big open room once you get inside. Are you guys going to duck inside?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. The two of you duck inside and I'm assuming you kind of push Nathaniel in. He bumps his head on the door at first. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
And he stands up and kind of hobbles his way in. And as you guys enter, I need both of you guys to make me perception tests.
Okay. That is a 56 out of 57. Ooh.
Ooh, not good. And Bragadin?
Oh, can you hear my smile? Because I rolled 44 out of 50 or 44 out of 80 if we're doing the acute hearing.
Yeah. So we're going with perception for this one. So that's critical success. Very good. As the two of you enter, this room is lit with significant light, as there is an open fireplace in the back. There actually is a formal fireplace built up, and this room appears nicer on the inside than the building on the outside. Like some extensive money has been spent inside of here. And you see 4 more figures. They look to be similarly thin men with kind of drabby, dirty clothes, kind of like the one that let you inside. Braggadine, you would notice with your critical success that each of these men have some kind of shoddy melee weapon on them. Like small dagger, like a club, things of that sort. Nothing too fancy. But you do also see a man who is currently sitting behind what looks like a desk of some sort. It looks cobbled together and not very quite official. But somebody that looks like they're trying to make a big deal about themselves. And he's sitting behind it in some kind of chair. And he stands as soon as he sees the 3 of you enter. And as he stands, you see that he's wearing kind of a cloak that conceals most of what he's wearing. But Braggadine, you would notice that he's wearing leather armor underneath his cloak with your critical success. You would also notice, Braggadine, the butt of a pistol on his, jutting out of his, almost like a bandolier around his chest. You also notice that the hood is back, revealing his face. And his face is just a mangle of old wounds and scars. One of his eyes looks like it's permanently swollen. His right ear has that kind of cauliflower look, like it's been hit repeatedly. And he sees you, Marius, and his eyes go extremely wide. And you see his mouth open, and what was a smile is now like a set, like, jaw. And you see that all of his teeth are perfectly white. And Braggadine, with your critical success, you would see that these are definitely wooden teeth. He's got a mouthful of fake teeth. As Jolly James looks at you, Marius, he says, "Wolf, you've taken everything from me." And it's at this point, Marius, that you realize that the man you're looking at is in fact the man you knew as Jimmy the Tooth, who is now taking on the name Jolly James and has a set of wooden teeth. He also
Jim.
He also matches. Yeah, exactly. You call out to him, "Hey, Jim." With this description, Marius, you would realize that he also matches the description of the man that Father Horst gave you, of the shady-looking individual that he's seen around the gardens before. And Braggadine, you would also notice with your, God damn, I can't believe you rolled a freaking critical success on this. So much I've got to tell you now. You would also notice, Braggadine, that several of the men, the other men in this room, have fresh, it looks like fresh mud on their boots and dirt on their hands. So his jaw sets looking at you, Marius. You've taken everything from me.
Before I say anything back, quick DM question.
Yes.
Would I, and you said I would put together that this is the guy that Father Horst was speaking about?
Yes, you would be able, judging specifically with your successful perception check, judging from the description of specifically the teeth that he was talking about. Because they are perfectly white, and there's a reason why.
Yeah. All right, yeah, sorry. That was all. Good.
Okay.
Just making sure. As he says he's taking everything from me, I'll just Jim, it seems like I need to talk to you.
We're going to do more than talk. And he immediately draws the pistol.
I was about to say I want to
Go
push.
ahead.
I want to push Nathaniel in front of me.
Okay, you go to push.
towards Jim.
Let's see. I'm gonna give you half cover for this, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
As he draws the pistol, I mean, it's a smooth motion. He hates you.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh, critical success, Marius Wolf.
God damn it.
Let's roll on this crit table with this pistol.
Oh.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Shit. Oh
hopefully,
yeah, I like that.
It's not a
I love the
headshot.
fact that Marius or Seamus is standing outside for all of this. Okay,
Classic Seamus, you know, slow walking up.
he's
Hey, keeping a perimeter.
keeping the perimeter
yeah.
on watch. You currently have no critical wounds, so minus 40 on
Yeah,
the crit,
yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so he draws the pistol, and as soon as you push Nathaniel on the way, boom! And Seamus, you hear this as well. Like it's extremely, it's louder than a normal gun. In fact, these are kind of like flintlock kind of pistols. Boom! There's just a big puff of smoke that comes out, and a massive hole is opened up in your chest, Marius. Just sends you flying backwards for a total of 15 wounds.
Fuck.
15 wounds
Alright.
opens up in your chest cavity, and you are now the proud owner of 2 bleeding conditions.
Oh damn.
And
Alright.
I need you to make me an endurance check real quick at minus 30.
Ooh. All right. Toughness or your endurance? You said
Endurance, yes, endurance.
endurance. All right. Let's see here. So that's a 29 out of 35.
Okay, how many degrees is that? This is important. Is that just
It's
one?
like regular. Yes. Yeah.
Hold on, let me make sure on this, because we might be doing some rolls.
Ooh.
All right. Okay, 1 degree of success.
Yes.
Maris, I need you to roll me a D100.
God damn it. All right. Let's see here. 20.
Okay, roll me one more.
All right. 18.
All right. Oh, okay. Marius, as the bullet passes through you, you begin to pitch backwards towards the wall, and you feel this horrible burning sensation coming across your chest, and you just feel like your vitality is just draining, like you're becoming like emaciated. Emaciated, not emaciated. Emaciated.
Yeah.
You're the proud owner of your first point of corruption.
What?
Yep.
Outrageous.
The fan vote.
Join the club, son.
As the bullet passes through you, you feel it pass through your back, luckily, because you had a degree of success and it's not lodged in you. So, I'm going to give it to you that it passed all the way through. So,
Okay.
I'm giving that to you because of your degree of success. And it passes through you, and who knows what. But you now are the proud owner of 1 point of corruption. It's at this point we're going to roll initiative.
All right. Let's see here. Uh, 14.
Okay. Braggadine.
11.
Okay. And Seamus.
I also rolled a 14.
Okay. So it'll be, you guys can decide who's going. Seamus and Marius. And then
I guess I'll go first since I'm inside, you know?
Braggadine.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay. I will say, as soon as the shot rings out, Marius, You see that these four other men in here immediately start converging on you and Bragadine. Nathaniel's kind of in your way between you and James. Well, Jimmy. I don't know what we're going to call him right now, but you know what I'm talking about. The artist formerly known as Jimmy.
Can I get to Jimmy?
I'm going to say because of the commotion, I will need an athletics test to see if you can pass through a few of these people to get to him. If you want to do that.
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Just standard roll.
Just standard roll.
Okay. I got a 16 out of 26.
Okay. So yeah, you managed to. You're fast enough on your feet that you. And you immediately push, and you actually grab a hold of Nathaniel and kind of throw him to the side, and leaving a space wide open for you to get to Jimmy. And as you do, he sees you coming. This is officially the first round now. He hasn't taken his turn yet. Are you charging at him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, charging. Okay,
you charge towards him, and as soon as you enter into melee range, there is a flick, and I need you to defend yourself, Marius.
All right. That's a 36 out of 41.
Okay. I mean, you're dodging, right?
Yeah, dodge.
Okay. You go to dodge Marius as you're closing with him, and as soon as you close, he's got a rapier of his own that pierces through your gut, Marius. As you close in, and you're not quick enough to get out of the way. Luckily, it's not a crit, but you're going to take 9 wounds.
All
right. As he pulls it free. What would you like to do now? Would you like to attempt to attack him?
Yes, I would.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack roll.
All right. That is a 33 out of 51.
Oof. All right. Roll me a D100.
20.
20. Okay, roll me one more.
35.
35. Okay. All right. So. All right. How much damage is that total, Marius? Real quick.
14. No.
Okay. He's
15.
going to. Yeah. Okay. He's definitely going to sacrifice the leather armor on his left arm as you go in with just a vicious hook, and he moves. The rapier's not quick enough, so he begins to hold up his arm, and you catch him on his form, and as you do, the knuckle dusters just tear through the leather. He still hits the arm, so it's not technically a full critical hit, but he does take significant damage, and he kind of is thrust backwards. Would you like to do anything else, Marius?
Can I either drink a health potion or punch him with the other hand?
I house ruled that the potions were free actions. So you can do that. Or, I mean, you can attack with your offhand if you'd like. All right, I'll give you the option for either or.
I'll take the potion. Swing that potion.
All right. So you go ahead and you...
Unless he's looking really... Is he looking faint?
No, not since he negated
Okay.
the full damage.
Then
No,
yeah.
not as bad.
I'll take my potion then.
Okay. So you quickly slip your hand in, and this is all your guys you're starting to circle each other, the two of you, and you reach down and very quickly with one hand kind of spike up one of these vials. As soon as it touches your tongue, you feel a surge of energy. May or may not be psychological in nature, but you do regain your toughness bonus and wounds.
All right.
And is that the end of your turn now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so that brings us to Seamus then. You hear a shot ring out, Seamus. And as you do, go ahead and give me a perception test real quick, Seamus.
That is going to be a 40 out of 51.
Okay, you're kind of glancing around, and you can tell where it came from the end of the alley. It's obviously where Marius and Bragadine are. But you also notice as soon as the shot rings out, you hear cries of like alarm. And you glance over, Seamus, because you're at head level with most of the houses here. And you can see, because Sealburg is kind of on a bit of a hill, that you see torches coming towards the poor quarter. And you're smart enough to assume that the guard that was being kept away is now coming to investigate a gunshot inside the city limits. So keep that in mind. It is now, just go ahead and take your turn.
I will like to grab the Thunderer, sling it over the shoulder, tell Rachel to stay put, and go as far as I can.
Okay. So you begin moving towards the house. I'm going to say that you are, or the small doorway, which is still open, mind you.
Yeah.
You can see Bragadine's just barely inside the door at this point, and you begin running in that direction with the Thunderer slung over your shoulder. You're going to get to within about 10 feet of the doorway. Currently, Bragadine is in the way, but if you wanted to, there's a man further past him that you could attempt to take a shot at. It would be a difficult shot, though, with Bragadine in the way. You may or may not shoot him in the process. Who knows?
Yeah.
If you would like to take it in this moment.
No, because that would require me to fire another gunshot. So
Okay. All right.
I will. That will be it for me.
All right. So, do you want to hold an action?
Yeah, I can hold one.
Okay, what are you going to hold?
I would probably, with Seamus' smarts of the police coming, probably ready like a sword attack or something.
Okay. All right. Just for anybody that comes into melee with you?
Yes. Any threatening presence.
Okay, that's what I like to hear. I like the specifics there. Good. 'Cause I was totally going to have a little boy run out next to you and you cut his head off. It's fine. All right, so that leaves us. We're done with that. So that brings us to the guys on the inside. Sorry, Bragadine.
I think I got chainmail.
Yep, you have your chainmail. You have the stats on that, right?
I do not in front of me right now.
Okay, let me get it real quick because that might come up. I want to say it's a plus
It should be
2.
Yeah, +2 to your body.
Yep, yeah, +2 to your body currently.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right.
All right. So Bragadine, the one that was quivering before, after the shot rings out, as most of these guys, seeing their boss take decisive action, are moving into the fray, and you've got one charging at you. I need you to defend yourself, Bragadine, as he pulls a dagger, and he's trying to stab you, psycho style, in the throat.
All right. Uh-oh. Let's see. Oh, I rolled a 53 My goal was 57, so it's a success, but that's it.
Okay. So, do you have any exhaustion right now, Bragadine?
Actually, I meant to ask about that because I think I still
I
had
believe
it.
you have 2
Well-
levels of exhaustion.
Fatigue or of exhaustion, yeah.
Yep. So that's actually the
So,
minus 20 for that roll.
Negative 20. That's a failure, sir.
Yes, it is. Luckily for you, this man is also terrified, so he clumsily lashes out at you, and you clumsily kind of parry the blade away, and it misses somehow by some miracle. But you can take a point of momentum, and as that happens, Marius, you're going to be dogpiled with 3 more men coming up behind you.
All right.
All right, so there's 3 guys coming up behind you, Marius. This might get bloody. The first one, I need you to defend yourself.
All right. That is going to be a 10 out of 51.
All right, you are dodging, correct?
Yeah, that's dodge.
Yeah, okay. So he has a club, and then you just duck out of the way, and he swings wide. The next guy is charging from the opposite side. They're surrounding you at this point, and each person that tags onto you, they're getting bonuses to strike you.
Yeah.
So go ahead and defend yourself, please.
Okay. That's 32 out of 71.
Okay. Marius, this guy has a small dagger.
Mhm.
And let's see. Yep. He wildly flings it toward your throat, and it's a critical hit, Marius.
Jesus.
Towards the
All
back
right,
of your
all right.
throats. You're currently still bleeding.
Yes.
Oh, shit. I forgot, Marius. We're going to redact you taking that potion. You can't recover
Okay.
wounds while you're bleeding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm sorry. That was my bad. All right, you know what? We'll
Well-
just we'll say you took it, and then
Well-
I'll remember it for next time.
Okay.
That was my
Well,
bad. I forgot
I'll,
about that.
Yeah. Well, whichever.
Okay. Yeah, we'll redact that. So no, we don't. You'll have taken the potion just in case, because it might come into play
Okay.
here. So you're looking at not a lot of damage. You're looking at 5 damage.
Okay.
That's it, because he's not very strong, and I just barely got a critical hit. Are you
Alright.
still standing?
I am.
Okay. All right. Now let me roll the rest of it then. All right. As you feel the blade coming in your direction, you instinctively move your head to dodge out of the way, and as you do, you don't get sliced across the face, but as you're turning, like the pommel of the dagger smacks you across the nose, and your nose is broken.
Ugh.
Let's see here. You gain 2 more bleeding conditions,
Jesus.
so you're at 4 now.
Alright.
And I need you to make a endurance test.
Okay. Straight endurance test or minus something?
Just straight endurance.
That's 20 out of 65.
Okay, so you are not stunned by the blow, but it was a vicious blow, and your nose is off kilter, and is probably going to need surgery to be set back in place.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
so
yeah.
your
Bad
nose,
ass, bro.
oh, you
Now.
and you flinch away, and the third guy, seeing you not doing so well, is going to run in.
Uh-huh.
And I need to defend
Oh, yeah.
yourself one
Roll-
more time,
roll defense.
Marius.
All right. Ooh, I got to reroll that one. Well, 8 out of 51.
8 out of 51. Okay, so this time, maybe it was the recent injury, but you managed to nimbly dodge to the side as another dagger just lashes out wildly at kind of your torso area and misses. That's all of their turns. It's at this point that it is going to be Jimmy's official turn. He already used his action to stab you earlier. So, he is going to... Let's see here. He's going to attempt to just run away from you, Marius. He's trying to get away. You will have an opportunity to hit him if you'd like.
I would like to.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, shit.
Wait, can I not?
No, go ahead.
That is going to be a 8 out of 61.
Okay. Remind me, Marius. Have I allowed you to do critical hits on dodges, on defending yourself?
Not on a dodge.
Okay, all right. In that
melee
case,
attacks.
I rolled a 1 on his dodge. So
Jeez.
he nimbly, I'm hot today, guys. I'm sorry. He as you try to reach out to grab him to keep him from getting away, he nimbly ducks out from underneath, and he's moving towards the back of the room. He's trying to get out of reach of you, and he currently is out of reach of you. He moves to a window, and you hear as his elbow shatters the window, and you hear this outside as well, Seamus. And he begins to clamber through the window. He hasn't gotten very far. So he's like getting through the window currently. All right, that is the end of his turn, which then brings us to Beno. Bragadine, it is finally your turn.
All right. As we have our dagger already out, defending ourselves, we are going to take a lunge at the man who dared to attack us.
Okay, go ahead and make a stab.
Yes, it's a 9 out of, let's see, 20, 37.
Okay.
So,
Easily hits. How much damage is that?
it's just a regular dagger, so...
Yeah.
let me see.
You realize you got plus 10 on this, right? From your momentum.
Oh, so that's another level of success. So, I think that's going to be 4, 7.
I think that's 3 levels of success total.
Yeah.
So that's
And the dagger's just 1 wound?
6, 9.
8 wounds.
No, I
9?
think it's 9. Yeah, you're looking at 9. 9 wounds with the dagger. And you actually take him across the cheek. And you open up a nice cut. He flinches back. He holds it with one hand. He's like, ah! And he steps back a few steps. Would you like to do anything else, Bragadine?
That's the first of many payments for attacking a noble.
Yeah, okay. And he and spits at your feet, Bragadine. And I'm assuming that's the end of your turn. So now that brings us to the top of the round. Marius Wolf. I'm going to go with you first because you're probably about to die. I'll let you use a resolve point to remove a bleeding condition currently.
Question.
Yes.
I've got 4 bleeding conditions. It doesn't make a lot of
Yes.
sense for me to use a resolve.
Okay.
I would never be able to stop bleeding. I don't have enough resolve points.
That's true.
So
How many wounds do you have? How many wounds do you have left?
2.
Okay. Well, yeah. In that case, yep. There's no point
Using
then.
my fate point.
You're
Yeah.
gonna use your. Well, you don't have to use a fate.
I don't see another way not to.
This is what you can choose to do. I will allow you to use a point of resilience, if you'd like, to immediately just kind of get a surge and remove all your bleeding conditions, if you want to do that.
Okay. Then I'll do that.
Okay. If you
I
can
can do
also
that.
use the fate point if you want. If you use the fate point, you'll just be unconscious and you'll make it through the fight somehow. It's your choice.
I'll just use the resilience then.
Okay, yeah. So you use resilience, and you kind of flex a little bit, and you can feel the tightening and the blood that's oozing out of your back. There's probably a large hole in your back currently from that massive wound you got from the pistol, and then these smaller hole where you were stabbed a minute ago, where your nose is
my nose.
Yeah, your nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
And you they're still bleeding thematically, but mechanically, your bleeding conditions are gone. I will give you, well, shit. I'll give you your action. You can use your action to do something if you'd like.
My action. I guess if I'm surrounded by these guys, I'm gonna start fighting them.
Okay, go ahead and
So-
give me an attack roll. We'll see how this goes.
Okay. All right. That's 52 out of 61.
Okay, the first guy. This is
one of
the.
them.
I'm assuming this is the guy that bashed your nose in. You turn
Probably.
around. Yeah, you turn around and boom, clock him a solid. How much damage is that?
It's not much. That'd be 9 damage.
9. Damn it, dude. Only 9?
Only 9.
Oh,
I
9 to
only
the
got
body.
one
He-
success. Yeah.
and then go ahead and roll me another attack. I'm assuming you want to put him down.
Yeah, if you can. That one's a little better. That's 29 out of 71.
Okay, that one hits. What is it gonna? How much damage is that gonna be?
That one would be 13.
13 damage. Okay, so this time you
Yep.
you lay him low, and as he doubles over, you boom right across you like an elbow down across his back, and he just stumbles, and he's at your feet, just laying very still, probably unconscious.
All right.
Was there anything else you'd like to do? You still technically have your free action.
I'll check another potions, I guess.
Okay, you know what we'll do is we will subtract. We'll just say the one that you use now. If that makes sense,
Okay.
since you couldn't use it before.
Okay.
It's getting weird because I remember the rule later. So just go ahead and just do it now.
All right.
All right. So
And that finishes my turn.
all right. So Seamus, it is now your turn.
All right.
You see, Bragadine is clogging the doorway with his body because he didn't move on his turn.
Yep, he never moved.
And he's fighting a man. I will say, if you want to, because it's a small door. You're a big man.
Yeah, 6 foot.
So yeah, if you want to try to squeeze your way in there, I'll even let you do this. You can either like shoulder check Bragadine into this dude to bust your way in. No check involved. I'll just let you do it, and then you can take your turn. Or you can make me an athletics check to try to kind of nimbly dodge your way in there and then enter the room.
Can I see Jimmy the Snitch climbing out the window?
It's on the other side. It's not the side closest on your side of the building. It's on the other side of the building, so you wouldn't be able to see him from here. You did hear glass break though, and you're not exactly sure what the hell's going on inside, but
Yeah.
something.
I guess my momentum of me hauling ass down that hallway or that alley, I'm just gonna plow through the door.
Yes. You go ahead and give me an athletics test, Bragadine.
I was hoping he was going to do that, actually.
The headsman is here.
All right. I mean, I didn't want to, but I was like, this would be so good. Athletics?
Yes, please.
Oh, it's going to be rough.
You're at a -20. So yeah, I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
it
I
is.
got so I'd say I'm going to tell you it's a failure. And we're not going to use a point to redo that.
Yeah. It's not a
my
critical
goal
fail,
is
though, right?
13. No, it's 57, but my goal was
Okay, you're
13.
fine. Yeah, you're fine. At least it's not a critical fail, though. Thank God. So Seamus, like, boom! You just feel this pressure in your back, Bragadine. And you just come flying forward as the large body of Seamus is bursting onto the scene. You fly into the man you're fighting, and the two of you stumble together, and you're wrapped up in each other, and you're trying to fling your little daggers, and you're both prone on the ground. He failed his, but not as bad as you, so he's actually on top right now. You're being mounted. So we'll see how this goes.
Gross.
So Seamus, you see that the man, you check your way in here, and now you see the scene before you. You can see that a man that you don't know who any of these people are because you weren't in the room when they were introduced. There's a man climbing out a window, and it looks like he's about to be gone. There's also, you see, Marius looks beat to shit. He's bleeding profusely. You can see his back right now. There's a massive hole in his back. You're assuming it's probably an exit wound of some kind. You can also see that there is just a pool of blood starting to smatter across his pant legs and his clothing. He looks hurt bad, and he still has 2 people on him. Then, of course, you look over, and you can see that Bragadine is currently being mounted by the man he was fighting a moment ago, and looks like he's probably going to get stabbed in the chest, like,
Help me, Seamus.
Saving Private Ryan style here in a moment. So
He's got chainmail. He's fine.
It's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He'll nick off that chainmail.
He's got chainmail now.
It'll be great. So the choice is yours, Seamus. What would you like to do?
I would probably imagine with the adrenaline of busting through the door, I probably don't even notice that was Bragadine, and I just see Marius surrounded by dudes.
Yes.
So I will fast action the sword and just go with whoever's closest
Okay.
to me surrounding
All right.
him.
So you're running towards them. Go ahead and make me an attack.
That is a 26 out of 60.
Okay, easily done. You carve across this man's left arm. How much damage is that total?
That should be, I believe, 10.
Okay, 10. Okay, good. 10
Yeah.
wounds as you lance it across his kind of left shoulder, and he flinches back and sees you now. So you're in melee with at least this one guy. And he looks terrified as soon as he sees you. If you had any wounds, you'd regain a wound for the blade as it connects and siphons off a piece of this man's soul. And he looks more in shock after he's kind of clutching at the wound, almost like he is not sure what the hell just happened to him. And you can see the pallor in his face is draining. Would you like to do anything else, Seamus?
Marius is still semi-conscious, I believe.
For now, he currently is, yes. And the headsman has entered the fray.
We gotta go, boys. The coppers are coming. And that will end my turn.
Okay. It is now the thugs' turns. So the one that you just slashed, Seamus, is going to let me see, because you are an intimidating man. He's going to bolt for it. He's making a run towards the window that was shattered. You give an opportunity if you want to slay him. You can attempt to attack him.
Let's go ahead and slay this.
I mean,
man.
why not? Why not? So go ahead and make me an attack roll.
I always slay it. Oof. That is going to be a 68 out of 70.
It still hits. How much damage is that total?
I guess 7, because I don't really have a success level, unless you count that as a success level.
Yeah, I'll count your
just
your
a success.
Yeah, your first one was So yeah, just 7 wounds. So you and you lash out, and this one goes across his back. And he's still standing, but you carve a rend through his flesh, and he's barely standing. And you can see that he kind of stumbles for a moment, Seamus, as more of his soul is sucked from his body, and he's looking very weak as he stumbles towards the window. The other one, seeing the tides quickly turning, is going to try to put you out, Marius. So I need you to defend yourself.
It's a 12 out of 61.
Okay, so he slashes at you with his kind of makeshift dagger, and you easily move to the side, and his eyes go wide. The tides have quickly turned, and he's going to attempt to run towards the open door you guys came through. So Marius, you'll get an opportunity to snatch him if you'd like, and then Seamus, you'll also get one afterwards. So Marius, go ahead and make me an attack.
That is a 44 out of...
Ooh.
Sorry. 81.
How much damage is that?
Yeah, so that's 13. 13 points.
Okay.
Damage.
How would you like to put this man have his misery?
Is he the one that broke my nose?
No, the one that broke your nose is at your feet, unconscious. This is the guy that is he's just been kind of flailing at you. He's never actually hit you, but he's making a run for it.
Okay. Marius is upset right now, you know.
Deathly blow?
So yeah, he's just gonna like grab him by the the back of his head and just like punch as hard as he can right into his throat.
Oh, Jesus!
Crack it.
Yep.
Try to break his windpipe.
Yep. There's a sickening crunch noise that all of you hear, and you just hear. And this man falls to his knees, and then he is slowly suffocating at your guys' feet, laying there on the floor. He will be doing so for a number of rounds. But so yeah, you hear someone gasping for air in the throes of dying for the next couple rounds here. That brings us to Bragadine, the man that's on top of you. Glances over at the rest of them, and he's getting the hell out of Dodge. He's going to try to scramble up and get away. Bragadine, you have an opportunity to thwart him, if you so desire to.
Not so fast, coward.
Okay. Are you going to try to stab him, or are you going to try to like grab his knee or his leg or something?
What would can I ask what it would require to do each one?
So if you're going to stab him, that's going to be your melee roll, your normal roll. If you're going to try to, because technically you guys are somewhat entangled a little bit. It's kind of interesting since you're both prone on top of each other.
That's a little friendly.
It is extremely friendly. I'll give you an opposed strength roll if you want to kind of grab a hold of him and keep him from leaving. So you pick either or.
Let's not so fast. And I'm gonna try and grab him.
Okay, give me an opposed strength test.
All right. I got 34 on. It's a success, but it's 30. It's just one level of success. 34 under 40.
Are you? Is this with your minus 20? You're exhausted.
Yeah,
bro.
the exhaustion
Sorry.
sucks.
So
That's right.
So
I thought because I was laying on my back, I was resting. I felt a little revived.
Yeah, just a little bit.
That's a
So
level
you
of
reach out and
failure,
you grab a hold of his ankle, and he's going to stomp down on your hand as you do so, and you're going to take a wound for your failure. So you take one wound, and he is bolting out of the door. He's going as fast as he can. So that brings us to your turn, Bracketing. What would you like to do? You can see him moving down the alley away in a panic.
So I'm gonna first get up, and so Marius is behind. Which direction am I facing? Am I watching him run out?
So you're facing the door. So to your left is Marius and Seamus both. They've dealt with everyone so far. The man Jimmy/James, the artist formerly known as Jimmy the Tooth, has escaped through the window and is not very far. If you guys wanted to pursue. We may be entering a skill challenge if you guys do. Just throwing it out there. That is completely an
Marius
option.
does.
Okay. But
He's
Bragadine,
running. Let's
it's
get
still
him.
your turn.
I'm gonna shout out. He's running. Let's go grab him.
Okay. Well, in that case, we're going to still keep initiative, but we're going to go into a skill challenge. If you guys are all going for Jimmy. So, well, I do need to ask, Seamus, or James, Jimmy. Seamus, are you going to participate in this challenge, or are you going back to your horse?
If I can see which direction Marius goes out the window, then I'll probably go back to my horse and then somehow try to find them.
Okay. All right. So you glance out and you think you might have an idea. So you're going to run back to your horse. So that's going to be your first order of business. So that's going to be your technically first action. So Marius, you're standing there. You see Seamus kind of run. He's running in that direction. You can see where Jimmy has passed through this window. There's a bloody trail because he's hurt too. And it looks like he's bleeding from his elbow from where he shattered the glass. What would you like to do, Marius? How are you pursuing, I guess I should say?
I guess I'm following them, as quickly as I can.
So you can give me a choice here.
Or...
Okay, yeah, so tracking. I'm going to need... You don't have the track skill, do you?
No, I don't.
Hold on, let me make sure it is what I think it is. Pursuit. All right. I guess this is just going to be perception. Yeah, we'll just do perception.
All right, sounds good. I will roll. Uh, 24 out of 57.
Okay, so there's a lot of blood actually, and it's not so sparsely that you're losing the trail. You get to the end of another alley, almost identical to the one you're at, and then you see that there's an overturned cart to your left where it looks like somebody just had some shit laying in there, and it's spilled across the road, and it looks like it's been recently destroyed. You glance over to your left, and you actually see Jimmy making a turn to the right down another alley. So you actually have eyesight on him, and you begin heading in that direction. Bragadine, are you following with Marius?
Yes.
Okay. How would you like to aid Marius in this moment?
All right. He's just running ahead of me, really, right?
You're in pursuit behind him. So Marius is a little bit ahead of you, but you're keeping pace.
Can I see James yet?
Probably not. He's still a little bit ahead of you. He just saw him duck into an alley, so no.
All right. I'm still gonna give me minus 20. Can I do an endurance check to keep up with Marius?
You know what? Sure. I'll let you do that so that you can keep almost an even pace with him. Yeah, go ahead and give me an endurance check.
Can I use a resolve point to take away one of my fatigued conditions first?
Yes. Now, it's only temporary when you do it that way, but it will count for this test. So yeah, that's fine.
No, we'll leave it. So I'm gonna try and keep up with Seamus. All right, that was a terrible roll. All right, so we got 7. I'm gonna use a fortune point.
Okay.
Okay. That's just as terrible. Let me see how many levels of failure that is, sir. It's 3 levels of failure.
Okay, so Bragadine, I mean, you're tired. You're running down this alley towards Marius, and you hear him. And Marius, you as you see Jimmy turn the corner, you hear Bragadine back there. He's running up behind you, and he doesn't look good. He stumbles a little bit, catches himself on the shanty alley that he's in, and he's definitely losing ground behind you. And because you looked back at him, you've lost a little bit of ground on Jimmy as well, because he is failing for the two of you. So yes, I love skill challenges. So that's going to bring us to the top of the round. Let's start with Seamus. Seamus, I need you to give me an intuition test to see if you know where you're going.
I like the fact that the man with the gunshot wound is running faster than...
I know. It's great, isn't it?
Intuition,
No, I
that
wasn't gonna
is
say
that is a 5 out of... Is that initiative? 5 out of 41.
And a 41. Okay, this was a very hard test because you've never been in here, but you still barely passed. So Seamus,
I'm like a bloodhound.
Yeah, you glance around and you think you see an opening down an alley where you're going to be able to get, hopefully, able to pursue this Jimmy character, the man that's fleeing. So you go ahead and you take the alley and you're moving up and you pass by. You're moving fast on a horse. You're putting Rachel to the test. You're going to have to make a choice, Seamus. The perception test was just to see if you knew where you were going. I'm either going to need a ride test to try to shoot through some of the gaps, or I will allow you to make a perception test to try to call out to Marius to see if you can get him back on track a little bit quicker. It's up to you.
Have we done a perception yet?
He has done one. I would allow you to do another one if you'd like.
Okay. I'll do that because it's going to be slightly higher than my ride horse.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a 33 out of 51.
Critical success. So you see,
Nice.
from your vantage point, you actually see Jimmy through a little bit of a gap in between the buildings, and you see him moving, and you see him take a sharp left down another alley that Marius probably wouldn't have seen. And you call out to him and let him know, and Marius, that is sent you significantly back on track. So at this point, Seamus, you begin maneuvering your horse, trying to head him off. We're going to kind of do it like that. And Marius, with Seamus's direction, you find the kind of hidden alley within an alley that Jimmy has taken, and you see him at the end of this alley. He's making a beeline, and it looks like he's about to hit the main road. You guys have been moving at such high speed that he's out of the shanty town, and he's about to hit the main road. What would you like to do?
Said he's in a straight away from me, I guess.
Yep, it's just a straight run.
Okay. Can I? Can I try to scare him into stopping? Is that something I can do?
We could try it.
Okay. Either that or athletics. Whichever.
I
guess you want me to do.
Which one would you like to do?
I'd probably just try to shout at him as I'm running.
Okay, what do you shout before you roll?
You better not run, Jimmy, or I'm gonna give your gum splinters.
Okay, roll me an intimidation check.
Really?
All right.
It's fantastic.
Oh shit! That's a 22 out of 60.
Holy shit. Okay.
Bad
So
shit
Marius,
talker.
you shout that out to him, and you see Jimmy as he's about to enter the main thoroughfare. He glances back at you, and he looks horrified that you have kept up pace with them. You must have easily just taken care of his boys, and you look like you've been through some shit. You got a hole in you, and you see him fumbling with his gun and with the pistol. It looks like he's been trying to reload it as he's been moving. And because of your critical intimidation check, he has not yet reloaded. He was about to blow your head off.
Shit.
So he's currently fumbling. That was a good choice. He's currently fumbling with the powder, and he's like, and he's shaking a little bit. That is going to lead us to Seamus's turn, as Marius has kind of hollered this out, and you're still moving towards him. You're not quite to him yet. So, Seamus, you see, you can hear Marius call out, and then judging by everything that you've noticed thus far, you actually take Rachel, and I need you to make me a ride test to jump over a small little shanty-like fence to get to the main thoroughfare.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a 7 out of 39.
Easily done.
yeah.
She hops. I mean, it's not exactly tall. It's probably about 4 foot tall, but she jumps it, and you very nimbly guide her and don't lose yourself out of the saddle here. And she clatters onto the cobblestone main road, and then you are able to head off Jimmy, as you are now between him. So Jimmy's between you and Marius at this point, with nowhere left to go. Bracketing, you don't get to fail anybody at this point. But you eventually come to the end of the alley behind Marius, and you kind of sit there, kind of catching your breath here. And skill challenge is over, and that's where we're going to take our first break, boys.